A new TCG ban list has just been announced, and we're going to be using the brand new YugiOhMeta.com, soon to be released to everyone soon, to dissect exactly what's going on here. Unchained, Kashtira, Purely, Dragon Link, Labyrinth, the top 5 decks. If we look at top techs here, Ash Blossom, Triple Tactics, Talent, Infinite Impermanence. Where's Max C? Well, it's banned. You click on OCG, of course it is there. Now, let's hop into what is good with the ban list. Starting off with Herald of Orange Light. From 2 to 3. It is limited to 1 in OCG, and it was limited for a very good reason. If we were to click on the card and see how it's being used, just Drytron right now, but it was previously being used in a deck like Tearlament back when it was Tier 0. So if we go back to a Tier 0 YCS where top 32 is 26 Ashizu Tearlament, that's absolute insanity. The chart is pretty much just Tearlament. This was a card that allowed you to win on turn 0, alongside a card like Havnis. So a triple Havnis and triple Orange Light. Winning on turn 0 is when your opponent goes first, and you play on their first turn, forcing them to pretty much surrender, as you have a crazy good field and a lot of disruptions. Being able to use the Orange Light to discard a Miller, even the Shufflers to disrupt them. Now, but all these cards are now limited to 1, and the deck is not as relevant anymore, so it's a good time for the good old fairy decks to have their Herald of Orange Light back. So that is good to see. Let me know if you're for this change. Keep on going to Salamangreat Gazelle. This went from 1 to 3. Let's check out what's been going on with this card so far. They've been playing it at 1, of course. We have a recent regional top from Bobby and Matthew. This is what their deck looks on over here. And if we want to see how the deck is doing in Master Duel, maybe TCG players could see the future through Master Duel stats. Let's check that out. Of course, they're playing the card at 3. And if we click on the deck type breakdown here, this is what the deck is looking like. And if we go on down to here, Master 1 deck list, we have a deck with Circular. But the problem with playing Circular in TCG, it's limited to 1, as it is also limited to 1 in OCG. So maybe they'll be copying something like this. Not playing a Max C in your build, by the way. Very interesting. Good job, Pariah Life. Now, let's keep on going. Moving on, newly limited. Ooh, Bestial Magna Hut. Limited to 1 in Master Duel, TCG, and OCG. Finally, TCG joining the party. What decks are using this? This has fallen out of prevalence because of decks like Kashtira becoming a top deck. This was very good when Tearlament was the big dog. And looking at the stats here, Dragon Link was still playing it because they have their own cards to banish, playing it at 3. Some of the other decks playing it a bit, but the majority were not playing it. Here are some other decks also playing. Let's look at the Dragon Link breakdown, though. And it being played at 3 was alongside 1 Serenir, 1 Druid Swarm, Lubellion at 3, but limited to 1 in OCG. So this potentially was an option for them to limit instead of Magna Hut, or something they may do in the future. Now, Magna Hut being limited to 1, you may be increasing your Serenir and your Druid Swarm cards here. All right, let's keep on looking at more changes. Chaos Space from 3 to 1. We have some Dragon Link hate here. What is going on? Well, as we are looking at the tier list, let's set this back to 3 months here in TCG, that is. The deck that is Dragon Link is top 4. And this deck has been relevant probably longer than any other deck on this list of relevant decks here, as I think we have as far back as a 2020 deck winning a UDS, similar to a YCS. Let's check that out, actually. This is back when LP was usable. Let's type in LP, and with LP, we have a deck list. This one, first place of what was similar to a YCS. You had to have Konami points to even join this. It wasn't open to everyone. This is back in 2020, 3 years ago, and it looks quite similar to how Dragon Link is being played today, but of course they had LP. So this is a deck that's just been relevant for way too long, and Konami's had enough of it. They don't make good money if you stick with one deck for 3 years now. Let's keep on going at more changes. Forbidden. So nothing semi-limited. We had a few unlimits. Kashtira Arise Heart banned. Wow. That is very interesting. A card that's not even in Master Duel yet. That's what's crazy about that, is when a card is being banned before it's even released in Master Duel. That just objectively shows you how good this is. Now, there's a good reason for this card to be banned, even though looking at the tier list stats, it was not the sole best deck. It's pretty closely tied to Unchained at the moment within tier 3 events, that is. But the big reason for this card to need to be banned is that it suppresses other decks by this effect. Any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. And now that I'm thinking about it, Dragon Link got hit because they probably feared that Dragon Link would be way too good. Dragon Link won Worlds, where Kashtira Rise Heart did not exist, and if they were to now ban a Rise Heart as they are, maybe Dragon Link would be the best deck as it was at Worlds. Wow, wow, wow. So let's look at how Kashtira is being played right now. It was being played at 1 because it was limited to 1. They were already dealing with Unicorn being semi-limited. Very, very interesting. If we go back to when Kashtira was tier 0, we look back at, this was in April 2023, 32 out of 64. Well, 33 because Kashtira Punk here was all Kashtira. Oh my Jesus. 3 Unicorn, triple Field Spell. I do expect the Field Spell to be limited in Master Duel because, as you can see, it's limited in OCG right now. They were playing triple a Rise Heart, so they were making it work with 1 and semi-limited Unicorn. Very, very interesting. And yeah, as again, this is just suppressing so many different decks because of cards being banished. Also, Diablosis helping you lock down the zones. So the deck was a lot different than what it is now. And will the deck still be playable? Well, we could look at Master Duel for that. Now, Master Duel does not have a card like Theosis. They don't have the Big Bang. And we also do not have the Scareclaw Kashtira. What else we do not have here? We don't even have the Field Spell in Master Duel. But if we were to click on a card like Rise Heart and look at the Master Duel stats, we could look at maybe how TCG will be continuing to play this deck. Now, we actually have Diablosis in Master Duel, and they do not in TCG. It's just going to be like Shang-Ri Control, but with triple Field Spell, Theosis, and the Big Bang. I don't know. I don't see this still being top tier without a Rise Heart. And if we go back to how well is the deck doing in OCG, well, we don't have stats for it because the deck is dead. How could it be dead? Let's type in OCG. Let's type in Kashtira here. As you can see here, this is the OCG limits. So between TCG and OCG, we have the Field Spell to 1, Unicorn to 1, Fenrir completely banned. That is wild. And a card like Fenrir in the TCG is being played in a lot more decks than just Kashtira. 100% at 3, but as you can see, a ton of decks also using this as if it were just a regular tech card to put in any deck, because it pretty much is. OCG banning this card. It is also semi-limited in Master Duel. That is wild. So let's keep on going. Anything else banned? Full changes. Well, the Rise Heart banned, Magna Hut Chaos Space limited, Salamangreat Gazelle, Herald of Orange Light unlimited. So I'm not really, well, also it's worth noting that Salamangreat has new cards. They are those new cards out yet? Let's type in Salamangreat and filter by not released. Well, they actually have them. They have all the new Salamangreat cards that just came out. So that is quite interesting. Will those be will these be doing anything? Tiger, okay, it all just came out in August 2023. Well, we don't have, do we have data on this yet? We do. These new Salamangreat decks are topping with the new cards, that is. Okay, Salamangreat of Fire and the Weasel. Yeah, I completely did not notice that these new cards were in these decks that were topping in TCG. And hopefully soon Master will have these cards also. And then they're going to have 3 Gazelle. So I don't know. Is this going to be a top tier deck with 3 Gazelle plus the new support? That is quite wild. And there you go. That is the ban list. That is YugiOhMeta.com. Let me know what you think. It's coming along. It is some great stuff. I'm very happy to show you some more things. We have a lot more cooking under the stove. We can't show you fully yet. And that is it. We are out. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.